You got two locker rooms in the back, right? And it's not men's and women's. It's the good guys and the bad guys. This is the way it works in a pro wrestling situation. Two locker rooms. Every building you go to, every venue, anywhere in the world, you can count on, and that's how they're going to separate them. Good guys over here, bad guys over here. All right. 1996, King of the Ring. A guy with what was believed to be a poor gimmick, which was nothing more than a bald head and black trunks, named Stone Cold Steve Austin, went into business for himself live on pay-per-view. And he said a three-letter word, and nothing so profane had ever been spoken in professional wrestling up until that point. Professional wrestling kept its doors on with uneducated Southern white males and children worldwide. That was it. I mean, this was absolutely your base. So when Stone Cold came out and said the word ass, it was very dirty to that audience, to the point that the interviewer thought about shutting him down. The WWF, I said, 96, didn't know what to do, so they took a deep breath. I mean, everything was on the table, including cutting this guy. This was bad. This was really bad what he did, but they took a deep breath. Vince wasn't sure, and he got a real weird reaction from the crowd, so they took a deep breath. This was on Sunday. The next night is Monday. They got a live television taping, and people show up to the arena holding the quote that Stone Cold said on signs. They give him the loudest pop, and just like that, the Attitude Era was formed. And you will hear many different versions. That's what happened. That's the accurate version. When Stone Cold did this, what was so unique was not just that he said ass or he's a little rough around the edges or drinking beer, flipping people off. And that was a really big part of the gimmick, but it wasn't it. He went after everyone. You always had, from the beginning of time, two locker rooms, the good guys, the bad guys. You always had this. He didn't like the good guys, but he didn't like the bad guys. He was an anti-hero that stood alone. The first and the only to do it. And quite frankly, even though that was a huge part of his gimmick, he had a hard time doing it. He tried to portray it. It just wasn't who he was at his core. I mean, if you ever go back and you watch his interviews with Mankind, he could not do an interview with Mankind and tear him down if he didn't build him up first. He just respected him on a human level. He couldn't even do it for the show. And I bring it to you because I'm hearing talk of Conor versus Colby. And I'm hearing, what do you think about that? And is that the biggest fight we can make? And first off, no, it's not. I'm a little bit surprised of that. But let's just move on. The people that believe it are the people that love the entertainment era that we're in right now. And they're thinking of the promos and the sound bites that we could get leading into that fight. Interesting concept. It really is. I believe it should at least be considered that it's more helpful to have friends. So, Colby and Conor, in theory, should get along, whether they've ever met or not. Even if they've never met and they're not buddies, they're both bad guys. They're both assigned to this locker room. And the crowd is going to boo them. And the fans think that they've gone too far, that they've said things that are over the line. But either way, the fan will be there to tune in to watch their next match, right? It's one of these situations where it seems as though they could form an alliance. And if they were to go against each other, how does that end up? I mean, at least where we left off with Conor, as popular as he is, people were loving to hate him. They were loving to boo him. They thought it was very bad what he said about the DMs, just by example. People think that it's very bad. They think that he's playing USADA and the rules right now and smearing it in everybody's face. And he's more than happy to take on that role. So what are you going to do? Are you going to cheer for Colby? Are you going to get behind Colby? Colby's not going to come out and be nice. He's going to stay Colby. Conor's not going to come out and be nice. He's going to stay Conor. So you think these two bad guys against each other, but one of them has to be endearing. One of them has to be cheered. One of them has to be supported. I think it could be an error. I really do. I don't think anybody has gone as far as they could go by themselves, particularly if you compare that to teaming up and the way that they team up in this business. You got the good guys and you got the bad guys, but the good guys stick together and the bad guys stick together. And I don't know how much I love the idea of two of the great heels facing off.